Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Welcome to Patriots Touchback Podcast.
Patriots and the Ravens into the fourth quarter. They have fallen behind Baltimore by 11 with 12:50 left in the fourth quarter. First and 10, New England from the 37 of the Ravens. Snap is back to Maye. He loads up. He throws a long ball down the right side for Kyle Williams. He has it. He falls across the sideline. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots! The Patriots will go for two. Drake leans forward, waits on the snap, and takes it. He drops back. He looks to the end zone. He moves up. Maye throws it. Shovels it. Stevenson, middle of the end zone. A 2-point pass. Maye stands it. Throws it to the right. It's caught by Matt Collins on target on time. He's in the gun on the fourth down and 2. He takes the snap. It's a quick throw to the left. It's caught by Diggs. Shakes a defender. Runs left side. 35-30. Across the 30-yard line and out of bounds at the 28. Drake Maye surveys the defense. Nobody deep for Baltimore in the secondary. Handoff Stevenson. Runs to the right side across the 15. Cuts it across the 10 to the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown Patriots. A sensational run by Ramondre Stevenson as New England takes the lead. He looks to the right. Nowhere to go there. Throws it over the middle. Catch by Flowers. He runs to the 30-yard line. Spun up by Patrick. Back down behind. Patriots have it. A big hit by Caleb on Chason. Hustling after the play. Assaulted away here in Baltimore.
Whole defense getting a picture taken in the end zone.
Ravens are out of timeout. Snap to Drake. Fakes to Ramondre. He runs to the left. Quarterback to the 20. Quarterback to the 15. Quarterback to the 10. And there's the slide. Drake Maye is down, leading the Patriots to the 28-24 victory over Baltimore.
Man, I just love playing with these guys. I enjoyed every time out here. What a beautiful sport. It's a great team we played, and just glad we got it done this week.
And the Pats are now 12-3, driving toward the postseason.
Hey, we all we got! We all we need! Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3! Gang!
Playoff bound, baby. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to the Patriots Touchback Podcast. It is season 3, episode 43. We're all in a brilliant mood. Christmas is literally 2 days away. And, of course, the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football go into the bank and rob the Baltimore Ravens. 28-24. A sublime display. Nervy, finger, nail biting, whichever adjective you want to use. It was nerve-wracking. It was scary. But New England get the job done. Suffered injuries. But it was always next man up. And when you have one of the MVP candidates throwing the ball, good things happen. Actually, I'll correct myself. No. Great things happen. I got Kieran. I got Nick. The positivity train is well and truly enforced tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And we got a lot to talk about. Smash the like button. Spike the subscribe button. Tell all your friends. Follow us on our social media platforms. And make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify and on Apple as well. We are 29 subs off 100 subs. So let's get there before the Super Bowl. Because I don't mind tooting my own horn here. But the Patriots are Super Bowl contenders. With that being said, let's bring them all in. Kieran, Nick, how are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Carl, I said to you in the on text message, but just before kickoff, in the wee hours of the morning on Monday night, in the words of the wildlings from Game of Thrones, let's hunt some fucking crows. And we did. Yeah, nervy. Quite. Yeah, similar to the when the wildlings attacked the wall in season 4 of Game of Thrones. Very nervy. Yeah. It was great. Very good Sunday night football, actually. Sometimes those games can be a little bit underwhelming, but that was a good one. Proper AFC classic showdown.
Does that mean that our defense held the door?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, on one leg at least, anyway. We will get into our defense in a bit, but we're going to first start off with the man of the hour. The man of the match, the man of the game. 380 yards. Drake Maye finally accomplished 300 yards in in his second season. 31 of 44, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a passer rating of 102.5. First half, Kieran, Drake looked a little bit ropey. Didn't look at all in stride. There was some passes which went a little bit wayward at times. The interception he threw was not particularly pretty at all. But that second half, when we were down by 11 points, that was the one thing we've been waiting on all season. Can Drake Maye bring us back from the dead? Or bring us back from a deficit? And he proved it. He 100% proved it.
Yeah, I think in the first half he had a little bit of difficulty throwing whilst running out to his right-hand side. That was where the interception came from. Obviously, a bit of a miscommunication with Keishon Booty, but also a big underthrow. And he had a couple like that where it was either scrambling to his right or the little quick shots into the slot where he was, throwing a few dangerous passes. But I think when you look at him throwing outside of the numbers and throwing it down the field and over the middle, he was pretty pinpoint for, the vast majority of the game. And yeah, it took him a little bit of time to find that rhythm, but once he did, he looked great. I think a lot of that was defensively, we put the team in a bit of a hole. And I don't want to bash them too much because the amount of injuries on that side of the ball at the moment is very stark. But I think he did exactly what he needed to do. He didn't have a fourth quarter comeback. He didn't have a 300-yard game. And what a time to do it in prime time, Sunday night football on the road at Baltimore, hostile environment against a team that absolutely had to win to keep their season alive. And he delivered when it mattered most. That throw to Kyle Williams is one of his best of the season. That was absolutely in a bucket. And he put that where only Kyle Williams could get that ball. That's the level that Drake Maye can play at. And the exact reason why he's in the MVP conversation. And whilst he may not win it, Matthew Stafford's still having a really good season, and Josh Allen's kind of, risen from the ashes a little bit like a phoenix, but that he's still well and truly in the conversation, and that bodes well for our postseason chances.
These were here on that final drive to make it 28-24. These were his passes: 20 yards, 4 yards, 9 yards, incompletion, 8 yards, incompletion, 21 yards, 6-yard pass, and then obviously the touchdown run to Ramondre Stevenson. But there was a critical moment in that game where it was 4th and 2. Game was pretty much on the line at this point, and he managed to pick out Stefon Diggs, which we will get into, because Diggs had finally. I don't know what's happened to Diggs, but it seems like he only wants to play Sunday night football. He only wants to turn up Sunday night football. It's a common occurrence here. He done it as Buffalo in Week 5 under the lights of Sunday night football, and now he's done it again to Baltimore.
I can't say that pass enthralled me, to be fair, because if you slow that down, he is millimeters away from intercepting that. That pass is so close to going the wrong way, and it's even at full speed. You look at it and you think, "Oh, that was close." You slow it down; it is very, very, very close.
It was very close.
I get it. You have to make it, but it's one of those you don't really want to be doing that too often.
The problem is it was 4th and 2. That was the read he was going to. There was no else he was giving it to, and I think, he could have scrambled. I haven't even viewed that play properly yet, because he might have scrambled for 2 yards, but I think overall, he trusts. The thing is with quarterbacks and receivers, they have to trust each other. Diggs trusted Maye to throw that ball, and Maye trusted Diggs to be there when he needed him to be there. I think that matters so crucially.
I think it does. I think, yes, it was a risky throw, and it was very much a telegraph throw, because Ardarius Washington knew exactly what was going to happen there and where he was going with the ball. but the ball is so pinpoint that even with jumping the route, even with knowing what's going to happen, Darius Washington still wasn't able to get his hands on the ball. So I think you have to credit Drake for that absolute pinpoint, because if he puts that in any other position, that's probably going back the other way. But it also serves our Darius Washington right for trying to jump it and be a hero and try and take it back, because if he just plays the man, that probably goes incomplete. But by trying to be a hero and get his big pick six
he's trying to ball hawk it.
In ball hawking it, he's ended up actually giving up the play to a very good throw and a very good catch. And that ultimately has then seen us go down the field and win the game. I think sometimes that discipline as a defensive back is really important. And I think he's just seen his name in big lights there, and he's misjudged it, and Drake's taken advantage of it.
Nick?
Yeah, agreed. It's excuse me. Yeah, I mean, Drake's stats not only for this game but throughout the whole season have been, as we said, MVP level. You know what he did early on in the season, and the amount of games he hit those 200-yard markers. You know, every quarterback that had done that became MVP, and yet now suddenly, to me, and this is just my opinion, so I mean, I feel that Matt Stafford is in the conversation for a career reason as opposed to a season reason. There is no way that Matt Stafford is anywhere close to Drake Maye this year. And whereas every year the MVP is a season performance, and it usually goes to one of the two quarterbacks that gets that wins the conference and gets the bye, the Rams aren't going to win the conference, and yet Matt Stafford's the favorite, and it's almost like it's a career achievement as opposed to, this season, because I don't think anybody should come close to Drake Maye for MVP this year.
The only reason why that's probably going to be Matthew Stafford is probably because his cast that helps around him, whereas Drake, his cast is more of a good collection of receivers, but they are not world beaters. They're not elite receivers. Hunter Henry is not what he once used to be. Diggs coming off a torn ACL. Matt Collins as a journeyman. Kyle Williams as a rookie. Pop Douglas as a 6th round pick who might be on his way out at the end of the season, maybe. There isn't anyone there you could really pin your hat on and say, yeah, he's done so well. But the thing is, and I was watching NFL Countdown, and I was listening to what Rex Ryan had to say. He said, none of the receivers are selfish. Every game, someone is being targeted more than anybody else's. They are taking it in turns, and Drake Maye is just spreading that ball. If you look at his next-gen stats in his actual passing game, it's like a sprinkler. It's just everywhere. The ball is just flying everywhere. There's not one part of the field where he's not targeting to his left, to the left, to the right, on the sidelines, on the in between the numbers. He can spread it absolutely anywhere, and that helps with his receivers. Now, one receiver I will get into, Stefon Diggs, 9 receptions, 138 yards. Didn't get any touchdowns, but my good God. We rely on this game in the most clutch moments going. And again, another clutch moment. So much for a guy coming off a torn ACL. But for some reason, he just turns up when the lights are at their brightest. That's Drake's go-to guy. Matt Collins as well. Go on.
So Stefon Diggs is the opposite of Sam Darnold.
Very much
who can't play under the lights at all.
I mean, did he not beat the Rams on Thursday Night Football?
Oh, everyone is allowed an anomaly. Yeah, anomalies do exist in the trend of data. So,
Carl, we've had some interesting comments come in so far. I just want to clarify, I'm not wearing a do-rag. I am wearing a baseball hat backwards.
I've only just seen that. From
I'm wearing a Patriots hat backwards. I appreciate it's dark, Dante, but I'm not wearing a do-rag. You would never catch me wearing one of those. And one of them, interesting question, not sure who it was, Kyle, but someone asked, are we Patriots fans? I mean, on the Patriots Touchback podcast, no, we support Arizona. We just do this a lot.
We've been found out.
Oh, no. Found out. Oh no! Oh no! I've actually got a freaking tattoo of Carson Palmer on my arm. Anyway, all right, back on topic. As we said, Diggs was sensational in this game. He needed to be, but the other receivers I want to give a shout out for Mac Hollins again. How many times has Drake Maye kept on going to Mac Hollins, who is a fourth receiver at best? Every throw, he just goes to him in the clutch moments. I don't want to say this because it sounds quite disrespectful, but Mac Hollins is becoming our version of Danny Amendola. That safety valve guy where all shit hits the fan and he just goes straight for it. I'm sorry, but every single third down play, it seems to go to Hollins, and it's high, and he climbs the ladder only where he can get it.
Well, that's because Mac Hollins is our only receiver that's like 6 foot something.
I think he 6'3",
6'3", or 6'4", I think.
Yeah, so he is our he is our lanky go ball guy. Really, if you don't include Keishore Butte, but Butte runs different routes. But Hollins has been phenomenal for us, and this game proved it. 7 receptions, 69 yards. His longest was for 20. He had 9 targets on the day. Again, brilliant. Fantastic day.
It does seem like he makes one massive play every single week. And then, some weeks he only has sort of 2 or 3 catches, but he does seem to make one big play every week, which is, credit to him. He has been very, very clutch this year. And I think he's now playing the perfect role for him. He's not playing every snap, but he's not playing overly situational, but like they're using him in the right ways. And like ultimately, when you put him over the middle of the field at 6'4" and a nickel's having to cover him, he's gonna win it every time. So yeah, he's been a real shrewd addition, both on and off the field, to be fair. His leadership in the locker room, everyone speaks about it. So yeah, that's been a real hit of a signing. Perhaps that we didn't expect him to be a hit of a signing, but he has been.
He's been phenomenal. Kyle Williams, 2 receptions, 46 yards. Obviously, what you saw in that little video monologue right at the start of the show was the touchdown he got, which, as you said, mate, that throw that Drake got through to Kyle Williams, that was, I call that a teardrop. It was perfect. Absolute perfect. There's a reason being why I said I wanted this guy in the draft. This is what he's capable of. It took a while, but that's what he's capable of. My boy out of Washington State.
I think, ironically, he has less receptions than Jalen Polk had as a rookie, but has looked a hell of a lot better in just 7 receptions or whatever he's had. Like, Javon Baker had 1 catch as a rookie. Also, found out today that Javon Baker is now playing for the 49ers. When the fuck did that happen? I must have missed.
That happened a few weeks ago. And I haven't seen him play. So
yeah, but yeah, this seems to be like maximizing his minimal opportunities. Like he's been on the field a fair bit. I think he played like around 30 snaps in this game, but like I think under 10 receptions on the year, but 3 of them have gone for deep touchdowns. It's kind of like, well, we probably should be using him a little bit more because he seems to be able to house things deep quite consistently. Like he's almost got a 50% touchdown rate. Like it's pretty impressive. And if because with the news today that Bootie's in the concussion protocol after climbing to the moon to catch a ball and being fouled in the process, like if Kyle Williams has to step in for Keishore Butte this weekend, can see him having a really good game against the Jets. Almost like a mini breakout game if he gets more looks. And Drake Maye was talking him up today in his press conference too. So hopefully this is the start of Kyle Williams getting a bit more involved because he's definitely a talent. You can tell that.
You'll probably see as well Pop Douglas move further up.
EC3.
I think we might see Chisholm. We might see Chisholm in the slot. We might see Chisholm in the slot against the Jets. What kind of world are we flipping living in when we're cheering on EC3?
Hey, I tell you what. Joe previously of this parish, he'd be proud of me. I was walking in Sainsbury's yesterday, right? And I was walking in Sainsbury's, and there was a guy walking towards me with a Jets hat on.
Oh dear.
Here
we go again.
And as literally just as we're passing, I had my Patriots hoodie on, right? And just as we're passing, I just went to him, "Fuck the Jets," and kept walking. I didn't even look back. To see whether he even think. And literally, just as we were passing, as the heads were passing the other way, I just went, "Fuck the Jets."
See, I think Neil, who we had on from Talking Balls in our pre-Jets preview, he would have taken that very well, I think, and I think he would probably have gone, "I know, I understand." I think that's just what the point the Jets are at. They've even tanked their tank now, so like that's what I mean. They're kind of in a bit.
But they got all their first round picks though, so they could easily trade up.
But they'll just mess them up because that's what they do every single time.
Well, we'll see. Let's have a go. Hunter Henry, 6 receptions, 35 yards, got a touchdown. Should have had two. I'm sorry, but that's literally in the bucket for him on that first drive, and he dropped it. Oh, that done my head in. I was like, of all the players, I expected someone like Hooper to drop it, or maybe Booty to do it, but Henry, that's his main go-to guy in the red zone.
I mean, to be fair, I was quite surprised that he even managed to score because. We spoke about in the preview, and Tom was saying about utilizing the tight ends on both sides. But like Kyle Hamilton is one of the best, defensive backs in the NFL period, and was kind of expecting Hamilton to kind of be the main guy shadowing the tight end. So for us to be able to score off a tight end touchdown, I think was actually quite a bit of a surprise for me. I thought they, especially in red zone situations, I thought they'd have Kyle Hamilton locking down Hunter Henry, but. Fair play. Hunter Henry.
That Hunter Henry one was a broken coverage though, because if you watch,
it was broken coverage. Yeah, it was.
Hunter Henry provides his block, and then the guy as Drake May moves out and around, the guy who's Hunter's blocking moves off left to go out to May, and that frees up Hunter to come under under him. He comes under him and back around, so he's free. And before the guy, and you can see the guy jumps towards
May.
Drake May, and by the time he realizes what's happened, he can't then turn around and get back to Henry. So all May does is just loft it over him. It's that point where he jumps from tackling Henry and goes back and tries to go to May that it breaks the coverage down and it just frees Hunter up. If you watch it from behind the goal. You can actually see why it happened like that, and it's just one of those you take advantage of it.
It was, but the thing is, though, if you're safety or corner, if the quarterback is running, and you really need to be sticking man-to-man coverage on your receiver. The minute he breaks the line of scrimmage line, because obviously you can't throw past the line of scrimmage, then you take off and you go after Drake May. You need to. I know it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, but the easiest thing you could have done is, I defended my man. Unfortunately, Drake was coming at me, so I think he was stuck in no man's land. Whichever way happened, he was screwed. He needed someone else over the top of Henry, and no one was there to cover him. But yeah, as for the rest, Boutte only one reception for 16 yards. Demario Douglas, 1 reception for 6 yards. Not great. Travion Henderson, 1 reception for 9 yards. Talking of Travion Henderson, my heart fell to the floor when he couldn't get up after that hit. I was like, of all the players to lose, okay, losing Drake is bad. Very, very bad. But losing Travion is second bad. because he is the running game. He is certainly the running. He is the explosive guy that we need on the running game. And when we lost him, it fell to pieces. Ramondre Stevenson had 8 carries, 51 yards. Drake had 10 carries for 25 yards. Trayvon, before he went down, had 5 carries for 3 yards. 79 yards on the ground. Without Trayvon, we're buggered in the running game. And I know, well done to Ramondre. He managed to pick up the slack when he had to. You know, his longest was 21 yards, which was obviously the touchdown he got, which, by the way, in that video clip, he did some really good juking, trying to obey off tackles as well. So he done well. But the running game was just quicksand. Every single play, it was pass. 44 attempts by Drake to throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I when it first happened, I was trying to work out what on earth had happened to Trayvon Henderson, because you could see he was slow to get up. But I was kind of thinking, like, what happened? Like, I don't see any kind of muscle injury there. Like, and obviously, yeah, it turned out to be a concussion, and he's still in the concussion protocol. And yes, Ramondre Stevenson obviously had a good touchdown run. But yeah, we was like at that point, considering the lack of depth at running back as well, it was just abandon the run game and just let Drake win the game. And ultimately that worked. But yeah, hopefully Trayvon's okay. I mean, now we're now going into a couple of games where, although the injuries have stacked up on both sides of the ball, we are now going into 2 games where we're going to be heavily favored. And if you want any 2 games to get yourself healthy for the playoffs and potentially not rush players back, then it's this next 2 weeks. By beating Baltimore, we've put ourselves in a position where we don't need to panic about players coming back. Because let's be honest, it's the Jets. And we still have more than enough to beat them. And that will clinch us the division if we win as well. So, yeah, hopefully Trayvon gets back, but I wouldn't be absolutely desperate to get him back this weekend, just because of, we can cope without him. We have added actually a running back in the last 20 minutes, and it's a guy you guys actually would have heard of before. So Patriots have signed running back Elijah Mitchell, formerly of the 49ers and the Chiefs. He's been added.
Oh.
He has a bit of juice, to be fair. When McCaffrey was injured a couple of years ago,
I had Elijah Mitchell in one of my fantasy
good.
leagues. I had Elijah Mitchell in my fantasy leagues many, many years ago. When CMC obviously goes down once every 2 years with his fucking season-ending injuries. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
we'll see if he gets elevated first, though. But he's more than likely going to get elevated. But
I mean, he's better than Dearness Johnson. Like that. This is a guy that could legitimately be on the roster for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Dearness Johnson was just running in quicksand. So
he's got a bit of juice to him. We've seen him produce with the Niners before. Like, I think that's a good little add to the practice squad, to be fair. So at least that helps with the running back depth. So we'll see where we stand going forward. But yeah, there's no need to rush Trayvon back. But as long as he's back for the postseason, where he can hopefully, have a huge impact, that'll be the most important thing.
Yeah. We do need to touch on a little bit of bad news. Obviously, the injuries did pile up. Henderson goes down with a concussion. Butte goes down with a concussion. Refs are fucking shit. I will say that right now. That was diabolical from them, really. That is a blatant pass interference I've seen all season. Yet they give a roughing a passer to, I can't remember who it was.
Gibbons,
because apparently he just bumped into Tyron Huntley or Lamar. I can't remember if it was Tyron Huntley or Lamar, because apparently he bumped into him. Didn't even fall to the floor. Just bumped into him. He just
ran into him and stopped himself, and they gave roughing for it.
Yeah. I mean, be consistent, rest, for fuck's sake. So,
Jared Wilson's also in the concussion protocol. So 3 offensive starters are in the.
So he actually did come on for that final drive, which is which was like for icing the game and so on. So I don't think he's going to be too bad. I think we'll see what happens in training and so on. So Jared Wilson might be in concussion protocol. He might be okay for this week. Charles Woods as well, corner. He went down with an injury. Pop Douglas went out with a hamstring injury, so we don't know how severe that one is. If he's going to be out for the Jets game, then we definitely know EC3 is going to be playing in the slot in that one, so he's going to take a lot of first team reps this week. Kairos Tonga as well, foot injury. So we do have a bit of a report regarding of that. He is going to be out for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, 1 to 2 weeks.
1 to 2 weeks. So he'll be back in time for the postseason, which is sound, really.
Joshua Farmer has also been placed on injured reserves. That's another player missing at defensive line.
That's probably
Milton Williams is due back this week. So that's a positive.
Well, Joshua Farmer, if he's on injured reserve, that basically means then if we don't make the AFC Championship, his season's basically over.
Yeah. He done his hamstring. He's been placed on injured reserve.
Right. Okay. So that's a shame. So I thought Josh Farmer was starting to improve a bit better, but is what it is. Eric Gregory came in nose tackle as well, and and he actually done all right. PFF actually ranked him as our 5th best defensive player, and I think that was also when Tonga went off injured. He came in at nose tackle. But it still did stop King Henry the 22nd rushing for 128 yards on us and averaging 7 yards a carry. Hang on 1 minute. Hey, run defense. You going to do something today? No? You're just going to let King Henry run over your fucking carcass? Yeah, well done, lads. Well done for letting us down.
I don't understand why they benched him.
I don't get that either.
No, that's going to...
It's like he... I genuinely think if they kept him on, I don't think they'd have lost that game. Because we did not have an answer for him.
I mean, we all know the 7 wonders of the world. Stonehenge, I'm pretty much... No, we all know about that. Time for a new contender. Why did you take Derek Henry off with 12 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter?
I mean, their run game had us beat every time. It was... And I know he's had his drops and everything, and I know he dropped one earlier in the game. But you just watch the game through play by play. The guy had our defense beat every single
7
time.
yards a carry. He's averaging 7 yards a carry. That's what makes it more bewildering. The thing, I'm looking at this now: 20 passes to 33 rushing yards. 33 rushing attempts. Beg your pardon. So you knew that the running game was working. So why did you deviate away from it?
Yeah.
Keaton Mitchell, he had 9 carries for 13 yards. He was just going fucking vertical. Sorry, he was just going horizontal, beg your pardon.
I think that this brings up a wider point. And Carl, I said this to you after the game finished the other night. And I said, the Ravens nearly won that game irrespective of who was playing at quarterback. So... obviously, Lamar Jackson going out of the game is a big talking point, right? And I think a lot of people will latch onto the fact, and we spoke about this, Carl, that the people will say, well, if Lamar Jackson stays in the game, the Ravens don't lose. And I don't agree with that on the sense that Tyler Huntley didn't do anything different to what Lamar Jackson was doing in the first half anyway. They were running the ball, he was handing it off, and he was just taking layups. You look at all of Lamar Jackson's completions in the first half, every single one of them went to a wide open receiver. And if you look at all of Tyler Huntley's completions, all of them went to a wide open receiver. So irrespective of who was playing at quarterback, their game plan and the way they were operating on offense would not have changed in the slightest. No. So, and I think that's, I think that's a big reason why they were winning the game, because they set up and they schemed to try and attack us in a way that they knew we were vulnerable. They didn't need Lamar Jackson to throw the ball 30 times in the first half, or they didn't. And when Tyler Huntley come in, they didn't want him to keep throwing the ball because they were getting so much success on the ground. Why would you deviate away from that? So right. I don't buy into the narrative of Lamar would have won them that game. I don't agree at all. I feel like they were going to win that game because of the running game, because Henry was averaging 7 yards a carry. So yeah, I think, and then for them to go away from Derrick Henry for Keaton Mitchell in the second half, and then the running game to fall off a cliff and allow us to come back into the game where our quarterback, who can make tight window throws and throw it ball down the field and doesn't have to have a guy wide open in the state of Maryland every time to make a completion. Like, they gave us an opportunity to go and win the game. I don't think Lamar could make a throw that Drake Maye made to Kyle Williams. Like, that just doesn't happen. No. That goes out of bounds. We nearly lost that game off the back of the running game, and I think the Ravens almost just threw their chances away of winning by benching Derrick Henry. Like, I would say that leaving Derrick Henry out of the game was a bigger deal than leaving Lamar Jackson out of the game, just based on the game script.
That's coaching malpractice. That is on John Harbaugh, and I don't think no one can defend that. No one can defend that. Todd Brady 183 said, "Be more positive, guys. We're going to be number 1 seed. Broncos will slip up versus Chargers. Week off, get players back. Let's go." If we do what we're supposed to do, our side of the ball first, beat the Jets, beat the Dolphins. Now we're just hoping that, because we know that Week 18 game when it's Broncos versus Chargers, that's literally going to be the game everyone's going to have their eyes peeled on, because the Broncos can go from the number 1 seed and winning the AFC West to being a wild card.
Yeah.
That is worrying, actually, to be fair.
We cannot do any more than beat the Jets and the Dolphins, which we should do. The Jets, obviously, as we call it on this podcast, the biannual teabagging. We're going to play them this week with Brady Cook at quarterback, and then the week after that, Miami, a warm weather team, have to come and play us in Foxborough in early January, and where it's freezing cold. And Quinn Ewers, who I liked coming out of the draft, probably the only person that did like him on this podcast, and actually had some good moments the other day for the Dolphins until he decided to throw the game away with some horrendous interceptions. But we're not playing good teams in the final 2 weeks of the season. So you would think we're going to win both. We'll finish the season 14-3, and then it's out of our hands. We need, like you said, or like Todd Brady said there, we need a helping hand from someone else in order to change the seedings. I didn't have it on my bingo card that Jacksonville would win. We spoke on the previous show about how many times you just don't trust them, and then they just keep winning these games, and you think, are the Jags actually good, or are we just being, are they just pulling the wool over our eyes? But they went into Mile High and absolutely tore the Broncos apart. So it's are Denver actually as good as we think? Are Jacksonville the second best team in the AFC? Are they the best team in the AFC?
The AFC East, and Arsenal just scored. Yes, the AFC is basically an open sandbox.
I think the whole league is.
Yeah, I think the NFC is. Name me a team in the NFC right now that is actually head and shoulders above everybody else.
No one. There isn't. I don't think there's a single team in the NFL right now that is a standout. I think there are legitimately, for the first time in God knows how many years, I think you could make a case for 8 teams winning the Super Bowl. And that's crazy. Nobody knows what the Super Bowl matchup's going to be, who's going to win it. The field is as wide open as it's ever been, because the usual contenders are not in the race this year. So it's just blown everything wide open. Honestly, it could be anything. Good luck trying to predict or even bet on it, because it's just, how do you pick it out of this lot? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be nightmarish. As I said, I would say there is breaking news. We got breaking news. Hang on, where is it? Have I got it? We got breaking news come through from Adam Schefter. It is literally only just come through right now. Oh, come on, phone, you useless piece of shit.
Am I going to be caught?
It's all right, I'm there. Ian Rappaport has just tweeted out literally 30 seconds ago. The Patriots have designated standout defensive tackle Milton Williams to return off IR per the wire. His 21-day window is open after a high ankle sprain.
Let's go.
We got Big Boy back on the line. good to see. Hopefully, we get Milton Williams back for the Jets game because at least then, and also the other bit of news I'll say as well. Robert Spillane is out of his walking boot.
Good.
So that's a trajectory to up that. If we get both those guys back, and all we've done is lost Tonga, then I think stopping the run might be a little bit better compared to what it has been recently. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, ideally you'd want Tonga back for the Dolphins game if it is meaningful, because obviously they have Devon Achan, right, who's an outstanding running back. So, and that will be the entire emphasis of their offense, I would have thought. So, yeah, ideally you'd want them back for them. But yeah, having Milton back's massive. Having Robert Spillane back will be massive. And also, we're forgetting as well that not this week, but next week, Big Country is back as well.
Which brings me on to this. Fucking back again. No!
I thought he'd been playing all right the last few weeks.
He was ass.
He was terrible on Sunday night, and the Ravens have the third worst pass rush.
Yeah,
in the
he wasn't
NFL.
brilliant. He wasn't brilliant this week, but he has played all right the last couple of weeks.
Sorry, if people don't realise why I've got a picture of a colander on the screen here, that's who we call Vidarian Lowe after he has a shit performance, because everything leaks and goes through him. Pause.
Yeah. Can I just say to any Patriots fans listening that may have been in the camp after the Giants game where they were saying Vidarian Lowe looked much better with the coaching and with the scheme. Maybe he should stay at left tackle when Campbell comes back and Campbell goes to guard and then Wilson can go to center. First things first, Vidarian Lowe and Will Campbell are not comparable. Will Campbell is an excellent young left tackle. Vidarian Lowe is not. Secondly, why do you want to move Jared Wilson? And thirdly, what's Garrett Bradbury done wrong? Why are we benching him suddenly? Like, Garrett Bradbury's been one of our most consistent players all season. So, like, no.
It was probably Vidarian Lowe's mum that was saying that.
Yeah.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Well, it didn't fucking pay off.
No. As soon as Will Campbell's back and he's ready to go, you play him. He slots back in at left tackle, and Vidarian Lowe goes back to the bench. For that performance after the Giants, he was promoted from colander to saucepan, but unfortunately, he's been given the points deduction and has been relegated back to being the colander again. So, yeah, he tries, bless him, but he's just not good enough.
No, I think.
Can we just say, while we're on the topic of offensive tackles, PFF gave.
I thought you were going to say, can we say while we're on the topic of kitchen?
Hold on, hang on, Nick. Oh, sorry, Kaz, go on.
Thayer Munford, obviously, who we signed from the Browns, obviously former Raiders starting tackle, second spell with us. He's been the swing tackle. He came in for Morgan Moses the other night. PFF gave him an 88 grade. I mean, Vidarian Lowe would never. I mean, like, Thayer Munford, honestly, if we get another injury to tackle, get Munford in there. Like, he's clearly better. I just couldn't believe that. I was like, I mean, I don't think he put a foot wrong. Like, I watched him and thought like he was doing a reasonable job, but an 88 grade is elite. Like, he must have had an exceptional game before he got injured. But I mean, that could be another like nice little depth piece that we've added on the line in Munford.
We need all the depth we can get, because once the starting players go down, the depth starts getting tested. I don't know if we know with the run defense, once we lose some of our main key contributors, I know it's always next man up, but they're not replacing Milton Williams. They're not replacing Robert Spillane. They're not replacing Kairos Tonga. So it's going to be a difficult one. And the other one I have a bit of a whinge at as well. What the fucking hell was that fake punt all about?
Oh, I got that on here.
Bro,
I did not like that.
On 4th and 10. It's not like it was 4th and 1 or 4th and 2.
I was like, all right, just punt the ball, fine, just punt it. If you punted it, we might have been able to have got a stop. We might have been able to have got a stop on that drive, but no, we decided to fake punt it. I could see what they were trying to do, but the execution was just awful.
Yeah, it looked to me like Mapu was supposed to throw it to a guy peeling off the left side of the line, but that guy got held up. Mapu then panicked and decided to then try and run it himself, then realized that he was never going to get like the 11, 12 yards that he needed to get a first down, and then just ended up surrendering himself. So yeah, that was not a good play call at all. Not quite as bad as the Griff Whalen punt that the Colts deployed against us a few years ago, but that might be the worst fake punt I've ever seen. Maybe the worst special teams play I've ever seen.
That special teams play is something you expect from Joe Judge, not our current setup of coaches.
Not the legendary Jeremy.
We've been praising Jeremy Springer, and unfortunately, I had to say the C word to Kieran when after that play. I just said, Jeremy Springer, see you next Tuesday. What are you doing? What are you doing? That just made no sense whatsoever. So, it wasn't the cleanest of games that we played. It was quite scrappy. We didn't play smart football at times.
It was a very back and forth game.
It was a back and forth game.
To and fro. Yeah.
The problem is, though, when you go into M&T Bank Stadium to play the Ravens, you're not going there to play football. You're going in there for a fight. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a grind to get the win. And if you get the win, you get your praises. I would say it's a hard place to go, but the Ravens are now 3-6 at home. So do with that what you will. But listen, we're through 28-24. We are going back to the playoffs. We are guaranteed to play at least a playoff game. Now
4-0 in prime time.
4-0 in prime time. 7-0 on the road. And now we have to go to Bubble Gloop Swamp. Sorry, I'm in MetLife Stadium. Sorry, this Saturday against the Jets.
Let's be honest. We're going to go undefeated on the road. We don't even need to over talk about this.
We have to do a preview show, and I know I might be recovering from a serious hangover on Saturday, but we still got to do the show anyway. We're going to have Gangrene UK come on for the show as well, so that'll be good to talk to them about. I say it'll be good to talk about Jets, no, it's not. But you know what? You know what I mean. Try and be as neutral as we can.
So this is the first.
Go on, Nick.
Go on. I was going to say, this is the first time Patriots have clinched a playoff berth since 2021. Carl said it himself. We started this podcast literally the summer after that season. So it's like even we haven't seen a playoff appearance on the pod. It's the 29th postseason appearance in the franchise history. 23rd under Kraft since 1994. But, give Kraft his kudos as well. That's an impressive start. 14th time the Patriots have reached 12 wins in a season. And that puts us third on the all-time list. So my question for you two today is, it is the 14th time that the Patriots have reached 12 wins. They are placed third in all time on the list. Who are the two teams above them?
I'm going to go for the San Francisco 49ers.
The San Francisco 49ers are one of the two teams. They are in first place with 16 12-win seasons.
I'm going to go for the other team that has had a lot of Super Bowl success in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, it is not the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, that's him. I'm going to say it's Dallas.
It is indeed Dallas with 15. Well, another 12-win season next season, and we can tie Dallas. Tie with Dallas.
And they're supposed to be America's team. Okay, whatever. But no, listen. We can now move forward to obviously trying to sew up the division. So the ramifications is this, okay? New England's next game is on the road to the Jets. They're then at home to the Dolphins. The Bills, they got the Eagles at home. It's really dirty of me to cheer on Philadelphia, but I'm afraid we have no choice in the matter. We have no choice in the matter. So it does look like we're going to need. I would say we need help. We need to just win outright, and we win the division.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to worry about the Bills that much. It'd be nice to sewn up. It'll be nice to sewn up the division. The only problem is though, is that then they'll have the excuse of right, okay, well we're just gonna rest our starters for like a half or something. Because they played the Jets in week 18. That's their final home game at Highmark Stadium. So regular season anyway. Yeah, that's it. If they end up as a wild card, they won't play at Highmark Stadium again.
I think it'd be interesting to see how the Bills cope against the Eagles this weekend, because when we played them, obviously, like, we have a high octane offense, but our defense couldn't get a stop for the entirety of the second half. But the difference is when the Eagles are humming on offense, which has not been every game this year. They have definitely had times where they haven't. But Buffalo have got a real vulnerability against the run, and now they've got Saquon Barkley coming into town. And we've seen in the past that Jalen Hurts, when he has to put the team on his back, can, sling the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert. But the difference between us and the Eagles is their defense is a lot better than ours. So there shouldn't be as many leaks in the second half as there was against us. So if Philly are firing on offense, I think Buffalo could be in trouble because they're not going to be able to pile on the points on Philly like they did on us.
They also have better linebackers as well to mark the tight ends, which has basically been Josh Allen's go-to guys at the minute. So Lane Johnson at right tackle, he's going to be back for the Eagles, which is massive for them. And Jalen Carter, he'll be back as well, which is their most ferocious pass rusher. So that'll be an interesting one.
Just Carl, I want to move on just for a second. We spoke about, obviously Nick mentioned the record of how many, big seasons we've had in terms of the amount of wins and being second behind, or could go second behind San Francisco. I think Coach of the Year is done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I think at the moment, as I'm looking at it now online, Mike Vrabel is the 7-4 favorite to win Coach of the Year. But for me, that he should be odds on. What he has done with this team in 1 year in charge, not even a year in charge, to take a team with a barren roster who had won 4 games back-to-back years, 8 wins combined over a 2-year period, off the back of the Belichick era, where things spiraled at the end, off the back of Gerard Mayo's disastrous year in charge, to take that team to potentially a division win and maybe even the 1 seed, having won 12 games already this season, potential to win a very good chance to win 14 games, go 14-3. That turnaround for me, like, that is stonewall Coach of the Year candidate. Like, I don't see how he couldn't win it. Now, I have no idea why Kyle Shanahan is the second favorite, because San Francisco are pretty much half decent every year. And then, so behind him is Mike McDonald and then Ben Johnson. And then Liam Cohen, who I think is being disrespected as well at 15-2. But for me, like, I don't think anybody deserves it as much as Mike Vrabel.
Go on, Nick.
Yeah, I was just... Liam Cohen is probably my number 2, and then I reckon Mike McDonald probably would be my number 3.
I would agree with that.
I think Kyle Shanahan's there because he's had a lot of injuries to deal with. And so, because one of the big things about Coach of the Year, and I know, for example, I think it was Mike Florio on PFT said it last year. One of the big things that the voters are asked is to compare what you have seen based on what their expectations were. So, like, for example, Bill Belichick, although he went, some of the things that he did in Patriots history probably deserved Coach of the Year, but he didn't get it that often because he was expected to do that. He was such a good coach and he had such a good team that expectations were so high that he was never exceeding them massively, whereas there were coaches whose expectations were significantly lower who were exceeding them. So I think when you look at Vrabel and you say, well, yeah, he's done this. He's done. For me, yeah, he's odds on. He should win this. But I think Kyle Shanahan's probably there for the fact that he's had to contend with all the injuries. But yeah, certainly Liam Cohen and Mike McDonald don't deserve credit as well for the jobs they've done, because I don't think anybody saw Jacksonville playing as well as they did this year.
No, absolutely not.
And it's also like, just while we're on like the of the year records, awards, if you like. We spoke last week about Travion Henderson was the short price favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it just shows you how quickly things can change, because Travion goes out in the first half with a concussion, doesn't play the rest of the game, on a day where Tet McMillan looked good for the Panthers. And Tyler Shuck won another game for the Saints. Travion Henderson has gone from 7-4 to 20-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year off the back of 1 week, which is crazy, really.
Who's favourite now?
McMillan, odds-on favourite, 3-10. Tyler Shuck, second favourite, 7-2. Then Emeka Egbigbo, as Gronk said, and then Travion Henderson at 20-1. I get it, because in a sense, because Henderson didn't play the majority of the game. Obviously, then his stats aren't going to stack up. And then potentially if he misses this weekend as well, like I get it. But for the market shift to go from that drastic, from 7-4 favourite to 20-1, I think that's insane.
The only way he's going to get that back is he plays week 18 and he completely trounces the Dolphins.
It kind of also says, though, how much of a week-to-week league the NFL is. When you think about, like, I was reading some of the columns yesterday that, all the writers wrote about the Patriots, and they were saying how the Patriots were sloppy on Sunday. Yeah, there was some aspects of the Patriots' performance that was sloppy. I'll give them that, And yeah, we weren't brilliant for 3 quarters, but when you look at the fact that Buffalo barely escaped Cleveland with a win, Houston survived just against Las Vegas at home. Now, I know we got beat by Vegas, but that was week 1, and it's a very different
Week one's a liar. Week one's a liar.
And Denver lost at home to Jacksonville. So when you look at those 3 results, you look at the Houston game, the Buffalo game, and the Denver game, and you look at our game and you say, well, yeah, we were a bit sloppy. But the NFL is a week-to-week league. You cannot look at week 8 or earlier and say, this is what should happen in week such and such, because this has already happened. It ebbs and flows by week, and that goes for players, that goes for, performances. So, people jumping on the bandwagon and saying, well, this guy should be leading this, this stat because, he's the favorite. It's, I think some aspects of betting in the NFL are just ridiculous, because you can't predict from week to week what's going to happen.
Definitely not. One last thing we're going to touch on as well. The NFL Pro Bowl votes have been counted. They've now been verified. They are now in. New England have 2. Yes, you heard us correctly. 2 players that have been designated to go to the Pro Bowl. One of them is obviously Drake Maye, as you would do anyway. And the other one was cornerback Christian Gonzalez. There's a lot of names missing off that list there, which I am absolutely scratching my head over. Now, I know Milton Williams. Marcus Jones is the first one off my list.
That's the big one. I don't get why
that is 3 touchdowns on punt returns.
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to look at something quickly.
I think, obviously, he was snubbed for Chimere DK, right, from the Titans, who's also had a good season as a returner. But I think if you look at Jones' all-round contribution as a player as a whole, I think he deserved to be in there. I wonder whether he ends up in as an alternate anyway, because every single year you're going to get Pro Bowl alternates. But yeah, that was the big one. I was trying to rack my brain as to who else potentially could be up there for us. I think realistically, over the course of the season, I'm not sure Travion Henderson would have been quite at the level yet. He's finished the season very strong, but the first half of the season, obviously not playing as much, is going to ding him. I feel like if you look at, Mike Onwenu is a PFF darling. They absolutely love him.
Two. I didn't mean to cut in there, but Chimere DK has had 2 punt return touchdowns.
Yeah. But I thought maybe Mike Onwenu could be in there, but then
I know he's been injured for a couple of weeks, but Spillane could have quite easily got a vote.
I think Spillane potentially ends up as an alternate, but there's one player in the AFC who has been snubbed, who I was absolutely certain who plays the same position as Spillane. That's Jordan Brooks from the Miami Dolphins. I'm pretty sure that guy leads the NFL in tackles. Now, if you're the NFL tackle leader at middle linebacker, and I'm pretty sure he has a couple of sacks as well, surely that's Pro Bowl worthy if you lead the league in sacks, and not sacks, sorry, in tackles. So I was really surprised that Jordan Brooks didn't get in. I would say he's maybe had a better season than Spillane, but Spillane could be an alternate. Milton Williams, if he hadn't have got hurt, I would have fancied to have been in there.
He was top 10 in pressures at defensive tackle before he got injured.
I think overall we've kind of been the epitome of a team, haven't we? Really, we might not have the most elite individual players in certain positions, but playing as a team, as a unit, we've been really good. Marcus Jones is the head scratching one, and then you could make a case for Mike Onwenu, you could make a case for Spillane and for Milton Williams, but outside of that, I don't know. Maybe Caleb Chason potentially, but has he had that many splash plays? If you look at the edge rushers he's up against, like Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, Will Anderson, yes, he's had a good season, but it's just the reality of he's going to get snubbed for elite edge rushers, Myles Garrett being another one, that rack up 15 sacks a season at minimum. So unfortunately for players like them, they're going to miss out. But it's a positive to have 2. There have been some years we've had none. So I think the obvious 2 have got in, but I do feel for Marcus Jones. I do think he should have been in there.
Yeah, definitely. So Chimere DK had 2 punt return touchdowns this season, and Marcus Jones had 3. But remember, it's a fan vote. It's all voted by the fans.
Yeah, who voted Travis Kelce in there, which is a fucking joke.
They're not Kansas City Chiefs fans. They're not Kansas City Chiefs fans. They're Taylor Swift fans. I don't care if anybody fucking says.
Harold Fannin has had a better season than him.
Yeah,
in the AFC.
Well.
Agreed.
Yeah. Brock Bowers got in there. Brock Bowers is an elite tight end and has had some big games this year, but
he's been injured nearly a third of the season.
Injury.
He's been injured for a third of the season, man.
Dalton Kincaid has had a better season than Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce just get in because all the bloody Taylor Swift loving virgins love him. So he just needs to retire.
The Chiefs will suffer when he retires at the end of this year, and all the Swifties will disappear, and they'll be like, "Where's all our fans gone?"
And I like Travis Kelce as a player. I think he comes across as quite a cool guy. But I am looking forward to that moment where he disappears, and so do all the Taylor Swift fans.
I think we should acknowledge Ben Brown got a new contract today as well.
Good for him, yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
So
he's done well.
He's what, our third line center and backup guard as well. So he's not going to break the bank either. But I think he realizes where his position is in football. He knows that it's not like he's not going to go out and get a big contract somewhere else. He's not going to go and tear it up somewhere else. But there at the Patriots, he's got a comfortable gig where he's playing reasonably well when he's asked to play, and he's also comfortable in what he's being asked to do. So it's like a win-win for both, really.
He will be the second string guard because our first guard will probably be picked up in the draft next year.
I think you've got to decide whether you're going to keep with Bradbury at centre or whether you're going to move Wilson inside. Because like you said, you've got Onwenu at right guard as it is. You've got Wilson currently at left guard. If you're going to move him to centre and Bradbury out, because Bradbury was only on a 1-year deal, wasn't he? Bradbury is that right, or has he had a 2-year deal?
I think he's on a 2-year deal.
It's a 2-year deal.
So, yeah, so we've got another year of him there, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, Ben Brown's got a new contract. It's a 2-year thing. It's not going to break the bank. I think maximum it's like $6 million. So good for him. You know, he's earned it.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully the first of a few extensions to come. You know, we spoke about this in the group chat earlier. Obviously, Ben Brown's been done, but you've got obviously forgetting the big contracts that have got to come, like Christian Gonzalez and Drake Maye in the future. But you've got to extend Kayvon Chase on after the season he's had. Obviously, forced a fumble to help us win the game on Sunday night. Came up massive in that. Has had a fair amount of sacks this year. Has been a lot better than a 1 year, $3 million deal that he's on, which seems like a steal. Now, Nick, you said you thought he'd test the market. I can understand why he would, but he's.
I'm not saying when I mean test the market. I think he's going to wait, see what other teams are offering him, and then he might come back to the Patriots and say, "This is what I've been offered. Can you match it?"
Yeah,
you know, I think he'll wait and see what the market is trending at before he commits. So I'm not saying he won't commit to the Patriots. So
I think he needs to find himself a home. I think more importantly, like where he's been. This has been the best season of his career. He's 25, 26. It's the best season of his career. He's playing on a team that could go to the Super Bowl. He's had 8.5 sacks this year. Has had a really great season, but this is his 4th team he's been on. And he needs to find a home, like somewhere where he can sign a 3-year deal, 4-year deal, and settle somewhere and be a consistent, productive player. If the last thing you kind of want in that situation is to leave again and go somewhere else and find yourself maybe in a rotation or out of favor. But and then he ends up dropping off and he isn't as productive or whatever. But I think that it's working here right now. Why would you want to change that? So I would like the team to be proactive and kick off those talks and try to get him signed before the risk of letting him hit the market. But he's not the only one, right? Jalen Hawkins needs to get extended. He's due to be a free agent. You want to try and sign him to a longer-term deal. And then Kayshon Boutte as well. You want to get that done also because he's still only 23. And he's been a consistent producer this year. So, and then Gonzo's going to be the one that costs you a ton of money because he's extension eligible as well. He's probably going to, command top of the market money for his position. So you want to try and get them tied down to new deals before you then go into free agency, because then that can dictate, what your spending is like in free agency. But you've got to retain your talent first, because if those players all walk out of the door, I mean, obviously, a couple of them are in a year's time. But if you let Hawkins and Chase on go, it's not a case of, oh my God, we cannot lose them. But it's a case of, well, we've lost 2 starters now. So then we have to then get 2 starters again and then get further players beyond them. So I think we need to start looking at those and getting them signed to extensions.
No, I agree. Right. I think we will call this one a night. It feels weird that we're playing January football. It'll be the first time ever on this podcast that we get to talk about January football, which is quite surprising, really. So we're going to be here for the long run. Who knows? We may go the way.
As it stands, who are we due to play?
Texans.
Texans.
Okay,
that's an interesting game. That's very, very good.
Yeah.
But the Raiders were very frisky against them the other day.
If you ever say Raiders and frisky ever again, you're getting kicked out.
Well, I don't know where it came from.
They fucking suck!
Yeah, they do. We saw them against the Eagles not score a single point, and suddenly against one of the NFL's best defenses, they were hanging in the game. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But I don't think it's going to be the case then. I have a suspicious feeling that it's going to end up being I think we'll stick with the second seed. because I cannot trust the Chargers to do us a favor. If they lose to the Texans Saturday, game over. They won't win the division. They'll stuck where they are.
One thing I will say is that I've said all along that I don't want to play Denver at Mile High in an AFC Championship game with the atmosphere, with the defense, with the altitude, all of that lot. But after what Jacksonville done to them the other day, I feel a little bit more better about that situation.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just don't throw in the region of Patrick Surtain, for goodness sake, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. But yeah, it's going to be good. Now we move on to the Jets. On Sunday, we will have our preview show. Me and Kieran will be on board for Saturday night, 9 p.m. Come join us. We'll have Gangrene UK come on, another Jets podcast. So that'll be good fun as always. And and then our review show. I will probably say our review show. I think our review show will be Tuesday again, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to get my dates right. When is New Year's Eve? That's Wednesday night, isn't it?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. So Tuesday night, I think we'll do our usual breakdown of the game. And then obviously we'll be back on the Friday night, go around for the Dolphins game, and then we see where we're placed for who we face next.
I've always found that nickname, and I know obviously it was started in America, right? So obviously we have Gangrene UK coming on. They're looking forward to having them on our show. But the nickname Gangrene, like I get what they're saying with it, but gangrene is also an awful skin condition, like an illness. Like I always find it incredibly ironic and funny that the Jets are actively calling themselves some kind of skin condition, like rotting skin, which is very funny considering the shots we take at them all season. But we will be on our best behaviour. Gangrene UK, not gangrene.
You're going to say gangrene, aren't you? Right? The first time you say it, I guarantee.
I mean, look, they're just going with the nickname of their team, right? It's not their fault.
I don't want to make myself silly, but if I put a tenner on it now, I think you're going to say it first time. God, I should start gambling more. Anyway, right, we're getting on out of here. Thank you to Kez, thank you to Nick. Back to the playoffs we go. We move on to the Jets. Smash the like button on the way out. Gronk spike the subscribe button. Tell all your friends. Follow us on social media platforms and follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple. We will be back on Saturday night for the preview against the Jets. We're playoff bound, baby. Go Patriots.